Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to a new Idle Huntress video. Today's video is going to cover Hattori. I know this is a week old. I am super sorry. I was pretty sick and my voice is back now, as well as I'm busy as always, but here we are and we can cover Hattori for once and for all. The update, she's going to get a buff, but I don't think it's going to do much, and I'll go into more details about that, but also I'm going to cover the update we saw of all the new store updates and the Ultimate Arena. I can't go into too many detail because it's still not out, but you can see in the shop that sold out item is the badge, or like the token pass or whatever, that you can get up to 3 of them a day, and I'm stocking up on them now just to see if we really need them. But it's going to let players compete to have that profile, the PFP frame. You can see what they look like now. They've added their the silhouettes, but here in the guild shop we see that they've added the iron and steel. The steel is what they call the iron, which is what is used for gear upgrading, and then the iron, the red crystals, is what we use to upgrade the gear stars. They've also added the UR Plus gear in the territory shop, as well as the King's Peak shop. So luckily they didn't make them the more premium of the currencies that we use for the shards, but it's the simpler currency. So luckily, as long as you were playing those events and had some sort of score period, be it that your guild or yourself, you should be able to afford these. Now, once again, the downside is with the guild shop, we don't have enough of that currency, and we haven't had enough of that currency for a long time. Logging in, doing your tea parties, that's 100, 600 if you hosted the best one. 600 gets you nothing in that shop. So it's just a shame. But here we see the Hattori skins. I don't know why they went lolly with her, but I guess it's the transformation makes it a shebang. But third skin, fantastic, and you get to see it later on when we unlock her. But yeah, that covers it for the details. When Ultimate Arena comes out, hopefully I'll be punctual and make a video on that one if I understand what the heck's going on. But without further ado, now to the Hattori showcase. Hattori's first skill, Thorned Rose. At level 1, places 2 thorn marks on self and the ally with the highest attack. Now, thorn marks are going to be reflecting any physical damage up to 1.5% as true damage for each mark. This will last 4 turns and stacking up to 100 times and cannot be dispelled. At level 2, places 4 thorn marks, and at level 3, places 6 thorn marks. So her first skill is going to be, the whole premise of her kit is going to stack these thorn marks, which is going to be reflecting physical damage. Now, this is very interesting as in a mechanic. However, it's very crippled for the fact that it only lasts 4 turns. It's stacking up to 100 times, but there's no way you're going to get anywhere near those 100 stacks because they're going to dissipate after 4 turns. And so, you're going to be always losing what you get up to. Maybe you get up to around 20 and that's what you're sustaining. And even the worst of it all is that it's only physical damage. But given that all the characters now are all agility or tanks, apparently, we don't have to worry about magic damage. But yeah, that's kind of crappy. It should just be all damage is reflected, and 1.5 is not enough if we're losing those stacks after 4 turns. So either it be increase the damage or just get rid of the turn duration, just let it stack up to 100 times. We already see Charlemagne able to stack her unkillableness up to infinity, or we see I don't know, it's just not enough damage because you're not stacking enough, because you get maybe, okay, right, at 100 times 100 stacks, if you got built up at 100 stacks, maybe up to round 10, let's just say that, then you're doing 150% of their damage as true damage. So, if you were going to get one tapped, they're getting one tapped back, or they're dealing, 1.5 times the damage that they were doing. But that's a hypothetical. If you even were to get close to that 100 stacks, that's what you're doing, and that's an if. So, cool idea, but it's just going to be almost impossible to really pull off unless the enemy is attacking into you. But this is really going to just be Iori, because yes, we only get up to maybe, let's just say 30 stacks on a character before they start losing them, right? Now this is going to be, if you were able to get these 20 stacks on 3 of your characters, then that's 60, so 1.5. So that's 90% of their true damage back at them, because they're attacking at least 4 of your troops. But this is only gonna work on AoE attacking Huntresses, i.e. just Iori really, or Zhao or whatnot. But what I'm seeing is that this is really not going to do anything to your single target characters, due to the fact that in order to really get anywhere close to 100% of true reflection, they have to be stacked across multiple characters on your team. So if they're only attacking one character, they're only going to be dealing that 40% maybe of damage back at themselves. But if it's Iori, she's going to be attacking your entire team, or Medusa, you know, they're going to be, or Zhao, you name it, right? They're going to be attacking multiple characters and getting that true reflection back at them, and if not more, if you were able to stack enough. However, too many caveats. It just makes the skill just a hassle to set up to even be usable. Hatori's ultimate, Clone Technique, level 1. Place Clone Technique on the ally with the lowest HP percentage, and place 2 stacks of Death Immunity. That lasts for 3 turns. If Thor is an ally, then also place Clone Technique and Death Immunity on Thor. Clone Technique is going to target, the target is enhanced by Blood Magic for 3 turns and cannot be dispelled. Now what's funny is that Blood Magic isn't defined until her next skill, but continuing on. Level 2, now place 4 stacks of Death Immunity, and at level 3, now place 6 stacks of Death Immunity. She's going to make sure that your characters don't die. This is only going to work on the character with the lowest HP percentage, i.e. probably going to be Medusa in most instances, because she's going to want to make herself the lowest HP character, but this is going to allow characters just to stay alive. I mean, period. Now, it is not damage immunity like Arthur, where that no matter how much damage she takes on that turn, it won't kill her. In this case, just like Charlemagne and we see with Nero and that team passive, that if, let's say they had 6 stacks of burn and they had 6 stacks of death immunity, and that burn goes through all 6 stacks, then they can still die on that same turn. So this is a turn immunity. This is just death immunity. So it'll only save if there was a death, I guess a killing blow, right? Now the whole point about adding it to Thor really isn't doing anything. I could see this being like a Hattori, Arthur, Thor kind of incentive, but due to the fact that Thor isn't UR or has UR or does any damage period anymore, it's just not useful. It's I guess it's cool that it's there, but there's just no usability, because Thor being on your team is a slot that there could be a support who actually knows what they're doing, or more DPS. So it's just pointless for this to be there. Hatori's first passive, Blood Magic. At level 1, Hattori gains 4 stacks of thorns when she takes damage from an enemy's active attack, and so this is anything. She transforms when allies trigger death immunity a total of 10 times, when the enemy attacks a total of 40 times, enhancing her skill and removing all debuffs from herself. So this is when we get some more, definitions on some of her passives. So Thorn, Rose, Enhanced. So this is going to change her skills. This is going to give them a boost when she's in this transformed state, when she's not in lolly mode. Thanks. Yeah, wow. Okay, so Thorn Mark on bookworm allies at the start of each turn while transformed. These bookmark people are going to be Hatori, Medusa, and Isis. Now, Clone Technique Enhanced is that allies with the Clone Technique buff gain an additional 5 Thorn Marks when attacked by enemies. And now the Blood Magic, so her ult Enhanced at the start of each turn while transformed deals physical damage equal to 7% of her current HP at the times the number of Thorn Marks to all enemies. So she's going to be doing a lot of damage, a lot of physical damage, but this is dependent on her Thorn Mark stacks. And once again, like we talked about, the most I'm seeing is around 30, 40 stacks, if you're lucky, and then it's gone. If you were able to get to the transformed state and sustain the amount of stacks you could get. Now, at level 2, the transformation requirements are now 8 death immunity triggers or 35 enemy attacks, and then at level 3, we are down to 6 stacks of death immunity triggering or enemy attacks up to 30 times. So you're going to either be wanting to throw your team under the bus, or getting throwing Hattori at a team that's going to be triggering a lot of actions. So this could be Medusa action, Charlemagne action, Chiome if someone's still using her. I think Charlemagne is a better bet in terms of you're going to be able to stack those death immunity chances on the entire team, and she's going to herself be stacking up to 100 or more, you know, as long as you're winning that realm fight. And she's getting her realm off, period. That way you're going to be able to trigger this transformation quite easily with Hattori. Now that is being, you are able to keep Hattori alive. The transform skills are pretty cool, and that's just where she's going to be dealing any damage that isn't just from the Thornmark reflection. I never really saw it. I don't, like, I guess you'll see it in the gameplay footage, but I don't think it's working. It might be, and it's just not doing any damage, but yeah, it's interesting. But this is where we get the buff we're going to be seeing soon, hopefully in the next maintenance, that she's going to be able to start in this form with her UR skill, and we'll get to that in a second. Her stat passive is Illusion. At level 1, Hattori always appears somewhere unexpected, increases her HP by 15% and Tenacity by 3%, HP 20, Tenacity 4, HP 25, and Tenacity 5. So HP is always great. However, she doesn't have anything scaling from her stats, so it doesn't matter how much HP she has, she just stays alive longer. I'll put a caveat and say the blood magic does scale off her HP, but that's if you could get her to transform, which I have trouble, because you either put her with Charlemagne, which I think is a waste of a slot, or you have to risk killing your own team. Next is her exclusive equipment. Iga's secret technique. Iga, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce that one. Level 1, tenacity 3%, level 2, HP 20%, level 3, final damage reduction 25%. Now at level 4, EE 30, after transformation, max HP increases by 50% and defense reduces by 20% until the end of battle and can be dispelled, which is weird. At level 5, after transformation, max HP is up to 100%, and level 6, max HP increases to 200%, so she's doubling her health. This can be dispelled. I guess the defense reduction can be dispelled. So if you get like dodgy on your team for some reason and she does her cleansing, right, then the defense reduction is removed. I don't get what the whole kiss curse thing is. You know, I love the HP increase, but the defense decrease. It's not like she does damage like Morgana, where it's like you don't want defense on her because then she's not reflecting it. Like, I guess, yeah, this is even worse than Morgana. Like, Morgana just deals the damage back to the enemy. But this girl, she's UR. She's supposed to be UR, so I don't get it. The HP is nice, always nice, because, I mean, she's surviving. She's not just reflecting the damage, she's taking the damage as well. So she's taking all of it. So it could be worse. Let's just say the exclusive equipment could be worse, so I will take it. It's just more materials I don't have. Hattori's UR skill at level 1, after transformation, add 1 stack of Thornmark to ally bookworms. But these bookworms are going to be Medusa, Hattori, and Isis. She's going to be a fantastic water support character. Very soon we can already see her sprite in the icon menu. However, they're going to buff this skill by letting her be able to transform at the beginning of battle, which is essential because you need to get those death immunity stacks ASAP. I mean, like, that's why you need to get her, so that she can get that death immunity on herself and the ally with the lowest HP percentage. Now, this is going to be at the beginning of battle, so I don't know. I mean, it will be Medusa because she's going to start with that reduced health, therefore going to get the lowest HP percentage, so that's going to be great. You're going to get that death immunity. Now, it being on Medusa is going to be, counterintuitive because she doesn't need it until after turn 3, but she'll get to re-ult. But the biggest thing is that Hattori can't get one shot immediately as long as she's able to take her turn. Hopefully this helps her deal more damage. I don't think so. It's going to keep her alive, but is it going to fix the damage issue where she's just not dealing enough? No, it doesn't, unless they remove that the stacks last for 4 turns, or they increase the percentage of true damage that is reflected back. This is still not enough to buff her. Once again, my earlier point, Morgana just reflects it, so this just Hattori is just a worse physical damage Morgana, just flat out. I don't know how else to say it, but hopefully we do see improvement from the buff, but only time will tell. Last but not least, her pet skill, Eye for an Eye. At level 1, at the start of battle, the familiar places damage reflection on Hatori, reflecting 5% of physical damage taken. When Hatori's HP falls below 50% for the first time, gains 1 stack of death immunity. At level 2, 2 stacks of death immunity. Then level 3, 3 stacks. Level 4, 4 stacks. And now level 5 reflects 10% of physical damage taken. And not only is she reflecting based on her stack, she's dealing just a flat up 10% of extra damage on what she's doing. Now, is it going to be true damage? No, it's just going to be reflecting of that damage. Now, the death immunity stacks is great, but we see especially Medusa or Iori who can just rip through these death immunity stacks, and she might have 10 or, you name it, how many ever. But in order to really survive through them, you're going to need either just massive shields, massive health, damage immunity from Arthur, or just a ridiculous amount of death immunity stacks like Charlemagne's amount. It's not bad, it's a good pet skill, but all in all, it's a lot of investment for just surviving a little bit longer. The clone technique starting on the UR skill with the buff is going to be very helpful, but it could be worse. It could be worse, definitely. For badges and runes, she is a tank, so we're just gonna go HP. HP and speed, you're gonna want to be fast because we need to proc that death immunity ASAP and to get those thorn stacks so that if we were going to use her period, then the enemy is going to be dealing the thorn stacks damage to themselves just because it procced and because we were able to get it off before they were done taking their turn, right? So yeah, HP speed, you just do that with your badges. You go sub speed on both badges. You HP badge says speed badge. Runes, you're gonna go HP and then a speed badge, and then your sub stats more HP. Sorry guys, because building defense, crit, anything really isn't going to help her. She does nothing except for that 1 HP attack on her transformed at the beginning of every turn, right? Once she's transformed, she's going to be dealing that HP times the number of thorn marks she's got. So HP and speed, that's it. It's as simple as that. I mean, that's most characters nowadays, right? Some for the DPS, they get attacked, but in this case, it's just speed. I mean speed and HP. I don't know how more clear to explain it, I guess, right? So for my final notes, overall, if you're gonna get her, you gotta get her 6-star, but the amount of investment to get her, pet, to get it leveled up, to get her EE to, EE 50, if not EE 40, to get the double health, just too much investment for no results. You gotta get a setup condition, you gotta give her good gear, you gotta give her good badges, crazy fast badges, you gotta give her top tier stuff that just isn't worth it. That you gotta give her just that, just so she can compete, not so that she can win, just so she has a chance at doing something, so it's just not worth it. Even with the buff, it's just not gonna be enough. She's gonna stay alive, so maybe we can do something with she can be on a defense team, but she's not gonna win you any fights. That's the thing. And with a lot of the characters now, they have to win you the fight. If they're not, then it's wasting a slot for a character who can. In terms of Hattori, she looks great. I really, really love that animation that we get on our 3rd animation. Now, her first 2 skins, very sus, very lolly, but it is what it is. It's disappointing, to say the least. This could have been a really cool UR style Morgana, but, Morgana alone, if she just had more health to reflect, then that would be great, but she doesn't. What are you gonna do? I can't make the game better. We just buy into it, right? Unfortunately. So I hope you guys learned something from this. I am sorry again for how late this video was, but life hits you and life hits you. But that is what it is. But please leave a like, comment, and subscribe down below, guys. And tell me what you liked, tell me what you didn't like, and I will see you guys next time. Take care.